United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holy crap.
I know.
Agenda review. Questions, concerns on the agenda?
No, everything looks good. If we could bring the, we're good. Never mind.
So I'd say as is.
If we can bring item 16 up
To where?
to 14, I don't know how,
That's fine.
I
thank
was
you.
going to ask it to be tabled.
Okay, why is it getting tabled?
I think that, no personal reason. It's just, I was wondering if we could get a couple more estimates.
How many estimates did we end up getting?
I only saw one. Did we get more than one, Mark?
What's that?
Estimates on the dock? Did we get more than one? I only saw the one in the
No.
packet.
Mark, do we need to get more estimates for that price amount? Do we need to
I
get
can
more
go-
than one?
I don't really care. It just needs to get done.
I agree. I just want to see if we could get two more proposals, just to
Certainly
have
have the
fair.
council, I know time was of the essence, and so
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I
the
think
council has the ability to, you know,
What do you want to do? We can talk it.
I would say we just move forward with it.
Okay, move on.
Just like, because I'm bringing something up for the park that also just to move things forward, so I'm in that mood, so let's just keep going.
We do have Candy's son that's going to be participating in the peer project as well, that he's going to be doing a scout project for the pier, So, yeah,
Okay, well, let's move it at 14
thank you.
for discussion, and then if we need to, at that point in time, we can table it after it gets discussed. Ms. Flynn, if we can at least do that. Okay, so we'll move that up to 14. Okay, anything else? You good?
I'm good.
Joe, you good?
Well, do we want to table now items
Yes.
19, 20, and 21 to May 5th, as it so says on our agenda?
Okay. Can I get a motion to table 19, 20, and 21?
So moved.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Scott, is everything else good?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Mark, good? Okay. Public comment, if there's anybody in the audience who wants to speak at this time, please come forth.
Legislators Corner with Cheryl.
Good evening, Cheryl Pavlaka, 1808 Cary Street. Thank you, Mayor and City Council and citizens for letting me speak. I'm happy to state that HB 11 SB 150, that was a state bird. It failed, so my northern mockingbird is still the state bird. So I'm happy to report that. On a more serious note, the governor signed HB 1471, which bans Florida courts from applying foreign laws in our courts, including Sharia law. So you can't bring in any foreign law in Florida courts. The other one is SB 212, sexual predators. I spoke about that once before. It does establish a 100-foot restriction, which includes public swimming pools. That was signed by the mayor, by the governor, excuse me. Goes into effect July 1st, 26. And then the other one is the election integrity, SB 991, which is being penned as the Florida SAVE Act. It's not as strong as it should be, but it will give us a few good things. But the thing that it doesn't do is it does not allow for FOIA requests and things like that from citizens, which I think needs to be addressed at some point in the future. On a separate note, closer to home, I wanted to make everyone aware that the Lake County Commissioners will be looking at it's called a Bill of Rights Sanctuary County Ordinance. What does that mean? It means the federal government won't be able to impose certain things in Lake County. The sheriff will have the right to enforce our Bill of Rights. Collier County has done this, and now it's our turn to stand up, and Sheriff Grinnell is for it, as well as most of the county commissioners, and it's on the agenda for discussion, May 5th at 9 a.m., and then May 19th, they'll have a final discussion and vote. And so I encourage you all to come, as well as any citizens that are interested. Anyone that's interested in what does the ordinance say, or wanting to contact their county commissioners, they can see me and I will help them out. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Cheryl, do you know, did the House pass the budget already? Do you know that they had a special session for
No,
budget?
they're going to call us. They haven't called it yet,
They
but
haven't
there
called
will
it
be
yet?
a special session
They
for the
said they
budget.
can wait all the way till August to call it. so-
Probably, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they could change the whole
Oh,
tax
yeah.
thing in August.
Yep. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Anyone else in the audience? Project updates?
So the only thing I have, Mark, is I believe there was an email sent regarding the options for lighting. Is that something we can discuss here and do a vote to move forward? Does it have to be an agenda item, Scott?
Which lighting options?
So we were, during the workshop and during the last meetings, we discussed about having the option of adding lights, at certain parts of the park. Can we as a council vote on that now, since it was technically announced as a project update? Or how can we?
Yes, if you want to go ahead
As
and
long
do
as
that.
it
We're-
doesn't exceed the,
Right.
you have a, and correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize, but do you have a budget for this project? And as long as anything doesn't exceed that budget, you're kind of just moving parts around. So it's more of a, to your point, is like, it doesn't have to come, I don't think it needs to come back on little movements of the
No.
housekeeping of
Well,
the.
it's a pretty significant amount, so I just want to discuss to make sure we're all,
But does it, as long as it doesn't push the budget even higher?
from the original, it will, so that's why I would have to discuss it.
And then that's.
Yeah, I don't actually think the final plan, it hadn't been crystallized yet. So in other words, it's still, the plan's being formed, and it'll come back to you as a final construction plan. So if what you're basically doing is you want to add the lights.
Correct.
Now, direct the plan to include the lights, that's perfectly fine. You can vote on that now.
Because we're actually not voting on approval of the
Correct.
project, we're just approving
You're not-
to add this.
The
addition.
ad, correct.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Right.
Okay, so there were two options, and full disclosure, I did have a conversation with them today regarding this. But again, just to move this along, want to bring it up. Can I email you so you can put it on the screen?
You want to bring this up in your comments? Can you bring it up?
Yeah, I'll bring it up later, our comments, that way we can get it teed up.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No, that's actually a good call, so we'll add that. Brad, just to confirm, it's B Maxon at Minneola, correct? All right, on its way, thank you.
Say something else, but then I realized it was a live mic.
All right, we're good. Yep, we'll wait till the end. Thank you.
Is there any other project updates? Are you good on everything else?
I've been solely focusing on this, so this is my only one, and I know that we're gonna talk about the pier. So I think those are the only two pressing ones, and I have some other things I'll bring up in the report, but that's not for our ongoing project.
Okay, thank you.
We want to mark any other updates for, pressing updates for the projects?
Just something you might be interested in, the bathrooms over there, they did have to be, there was extensive damage, they did have to demolish those. They are now, the company that the insurance company's using, they're now about to go out for bid to get a contractor to come in. We've sent them all of our material lists from the last job. They may change the tile up a little bit, instead of white, maybe tan, but that can be worked out. But the actual materials list we have, the toilets we have, the sinks, the partitions, we have all that still on file. That should make it faster and easier. But they estimate the contract to be awarded between 90 and 120 days, is what the insurance company's contractor is thinking. So that's about it.
You need to get going if it runs late for your centennial celebration. I do have one request for a project update. It's really not the city project, but I did notice they're moving dirt on Citrus Grove Road. And are they, what's going on with that? Are they moving forward on that? Did they get all the turtles happily moved and all that stuff?
As far as I know, they did, yes. And they, of course, the bid has been awarded already, and I think they've been released to get started. So they got all the silt fencing up. You're starting to see some grading happen.
Okay. Okay, cool. That was it. That was it. Proclamations. Oh, I got three. Running it special. We should pre-record these so we can just play them out. Whereas on July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, a bold and historical document that proclaimed the 13 American colonies free and independent states founded upon the enduring principles and liberty, equality, and self-governance. And whereas the Declaration of Independence affirmed that all people are endowed with inalienable alien rights, including life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, principles that have guided the growth of the United States for 2.5 centuries. And whereas in 2026, this nation celebrates the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, honoring the courage and vision and sacrifice of the founders and all of those who have worked to preserve and expand the promise of freedom for future generations. And whereas this milestone provides the opportunity and reflection, education, and renewed commitment to the democratic ideas that unite Americans across time, places, and circumstances. Therefore, it is proclaimed to be the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, is hereby recognized and commemorated and celebrated. Encourage all citizens to reflect upon shared history, honor those who contribute to the nation's founding, and recommit ourselves to the principles of liberty and justice for all. Signed, Pat Kelly, Mayor. This is proclamation for Water Conservation Month. Whereas the state of Florida water districts and the city of Minneola are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation, and whereas April, a typical dry month when water demands are most acute, has been designated Florida's Water Conservation Month to educate citizens about how they can help save Florida's precious water resources. And whereas this year's focus will be on ensuring that outdoor irrigation systems operate efficiently using proper functioning rain shutoff devices, and whereas by making sure that these devices are installed, connected, and working as intended, our community can prevent unnecessary watering, reduce waste, and make better use of rainfall as we receive it. I, Pat Kelly, Mayor of Minneola, do hereby designate the month, April 2026, as Water Conservation Month in the city of Minneola. This one, National Public Works Proclamation. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vitally important to sustain a resilient community and to the public health of high quality in life and well-being of the people of Minneola. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services cannot be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other infrastructures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for citizens, civic leaders, and children of the city of Minneola to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas in this year, 2026 marks the 66th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Be it now. I, Pat Kelly, Mayor of Minneola, do hereby designate the week of May 17th to 23rd as National Public Works Week, and urge all citizens to join with representatives of the Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. Okay. Public Works consent agenda. If there's anybody in the audience want to speak on this?
Public Works,
Oh,
mayors,
oh.
city managers.
City manager, I'm still Public Works. It came out of nowhere, didn't
Be a
it?
good one, I mean.
Well, it was right here. It was
It's
just-
true, I'll give you that one.
It was at least on the page.
It was.
City manager's consent agenda. Anybody in the audience want to speak on this?
Jennifer Morse, 1064 Golden Dawn Loop. I want to talk about item number 7. My main question, no, I don't think anyone's told us exactly what the budget is for this party that we're having, but $45,000 for, not to say that the singer is a good singer, but $45,000 for a 90-minute presentation seems a little excessive to me. I think we can have a successful event without spending $45,000 unnecessarily. We're already spending how much on a drone show? $15,000? So my main question is, what is the budget? Because we keep approving these purchases one-off, and I would seriously consider if not doing this $45,000. I think we have local bands that are just good enough that can last the entire event. Thank you.
Comments?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Jennifer. Is there any way that we can pull that out and maybe have Grant come and let us know what he's got going on, what he has already booked or not booked, or just some feedback from him, since he is the one that is leading this? That would just be my recommendation, so that we can have some more clarity on it.
Okay.
I agree, Jennifer, I had that circled on my list too, if we could kind of get it broken down and so we know what we're getting for 45,000.
I think it was, I just found out today who it was, so I did not know until today. But they were looking, we can just say who it was. I mean, they were looking for a national headline. They're trying to get a headline that would kind of go with the centennial.
And
it's-
that's just for a headliner, the 45. That's nothing else.
Yeah, some of them, I guess some of them got up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars for it, but if you
You
go-
can.
But then they were looking at having a one for a headlining to try to get that evening person to come, and then they said they were gonna do like a locals act, which they reached out to a couple of local people, and they haven't really got back from them, kinda like so, I'm fine with doing it, but in the meantime, you probably should go online and see what it costs. Ms. Flynn, you're looking at this, what do you think is a valid number for a headline, what do you think they should cost?
Well, who are we talking about?
I mean, if this would be,
The God Bless America guy, or?
Coffee Anderson, he's got a lot of patriotic songs, pro-military, pro-America. He has other songs as
It's
well,
like-
but with the
What is
government,
this-
with the
what is this?
250th birthday of America and 100-year birthday for Minneola, we
what
thought,
was the song that he did?
Mr. Red, White, and Blue is
Mr.
one of
Red,
his
White, and Blue.
famous ones, yeah.
Heard it? Yeah, you haven't been in Lake County long enough. Yeah, but yeah, I'm open to like other ones that you want to see what the list is, but I think it's giving, if you want to give a list of these are what the people cost. I mean, I know a COE, they had like Trace Atkins, looked at him, and they was, he was 160 with demands?
Yeah, they're up there, but I guess in Jennifer's, respect for Jennifer and her questioning was more of, what's the budget? What's going on? What's out there? And
But
it's,
I did question the 45,000, and I was told that they're providing their own transportation here, they're providing their own hotel, they're providing their own band, they're providing a lot of their own stuff. But, I mean, I'm not saying I'm for it, I don't really.
So let's do this. I agree.
Is there a
Let's-
planning committee for this?
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly that. Why don't we pull this from the agenda? Let's have Grant come in. Let's have him do a full presentation of what his ideas are for it. Let's have him present his budget, what his numbers are. That way we could have a full understanding of what we're getting ourselves into.
10-4.
Is there a committee that does this? Is there a committee?
And I'll just throw out there, for half the price, I'll go up there and sing. So
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody wants to hear that, but I'll do it for half the price, guys.
And we knew it was important for the council to have a good, something to really get get the interest stirred and have a crowd come. The idea was to have, a large stage, and then we'll have a smaller stage for a lot of the local groups. We're trying to get a lot more than just one band here, but have one headliner to draw people.
And I think it's a great idea. I just think, we don't want to go in this blind, right? We want to kind of just see exactly what we're getting for our money's worth. And I think it's more of just understanding what the full project or what the full event, I should say, is going to look like prior for us, giving yay or nay. It's definitely not a nay. It's not a yay. It's more of a, let's see what we're getting for
I
our
think
money.
you're wanting to see, you want, how much, what is the all-inclusive budget? Not the, you don't want to see this à la carte. You don't want to say
Correct,
this
correct.
here and come back for this, and, we gotta buy this. You just want to see what is our budget.
Correct, correct.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, we can pull that if we can. Can I get a motion to pull item 7? Is there any other on here that's any questions, concerns?
I'll make that motion to pull item 7.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor, say
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a point in time where, do we want to do Grant to come back, or we want to, workshop this on another day? and
No,
just-
no, I don't think a workshop
No.
is
Okay, that's
necessary.
fine.
Please, no. No, just have him come
I'm
back.
just asking.
Yeah, no, just have him come back the next meeting. Have him
Oh, it's going to be
present
after
us.
I'm gone, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, thank you, but no workshop. Just have him, Mark, if he can come next meeting, just present to us what he's working on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. With that said, can I get a motion to approve the manager's consent agenda?
So moved?
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I don't have my reading glasses. So we're at decisions, we're at site plan for Whispering Winds Amenity.
Doing item
Oh,
16.
did I miss 16? Oh, sorry. We got 14 first, which is now, it used to be 16. Purchase request, pier at Heroes Memorial Park. Okay. Questions, concerns about it? I have one question about it. How long does it take to get the permits, and is this thing going to be done by Memorial Day?
Oh, I don't think by
It will not be
Memorial.
done by Memorial Day,
Yeah.
no.
There's no way.
Okay. And what happens to the boat that's parked there?
What happens what?
To the boat that's parked there?
That's a great question, and if it's in the way, we're going to have to figure out how to get it moved, but the challenge is if it's in the state waters, there's not a lot we can do, other than try to work with the state to get it.
Huh?
Just lift anchor and move it to another part of state water. Can we just do that?
I just asked a question.
No, man, if it's abandoned, who cares?
Yeah.
Just pick it up and move it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that's the most logical answer to this question, if we can't find the owner. Scott, legally, can we do that? Are you not gonna answer that?
Yeah. Do we know whose boat it is? I don't know anything about the boat, so, we'll figure out the boat.
Yeah, I'm just saying it just probably need to be,
Yeah.
Just don't miss the boat, Scott. Oh, here come the puns again.
So I have a correction here from what I had mentioned before, that Candy Alexander's son Derek is going to be doing an Eagle Scout project dedicated to educational learning and astronomy for the City of Minneola Veterans Memorial Pier. So that's something that he is just waiting on us so that he can go ahead and continue what he needs to do on his end.
Okay.
So that was just a correction on my part.
Okay.
Thank you.
So with that said, is there a motion to move forward on this? Or what do you want to do?
What do you,
I'm open to anything.
Well, I've expressed that I would like to see 2 more proposals. If we could save the taxpayers and residents money, I'm all about that. We've been on this for a year. I don't think a couple weeks is
If you mad at somebody,
Yes.
don't tell me about
it's up to the council.
Something else, anybody want to make a motion to approve this or to table it? It can go either way.
Mark, when it comes to this pier, and again, I know this has come up before, but from a legal standpoint, maybe Scott's question for you, is there a threshold that we need to get 3 bids? I know that we had this discussion before, I think, for the trailhead, actually, for a trailhead.
Yeah, the absolute threshold is $300,000. You have to bid it out. That's state law for any facility. Our purchasing policy for goods and services says that wherever possible, we try to get 3 quotes for any purchases, but council expressly has the ability to override that under circumstances. So if there's a need to move ahead or exigent circumstances, council has the authority to dispense with the need to get additional quotes.
I guess the question is, if we get the quotes, is there a pro forma of what the design's supposed to look like? I mean, they gave us the design of this, now you're gonna be comparing apples to oranges. I'm using cedar,
So, again,
I'm
if
just
you,
saying from the aspect of what is it?
and I'm getting to that now, so before I get to that point, this has been discussed in the past in order to, obviously, to get a pier. So a couple of questions. One, why wasn't 3 quotes obtained in the past, right? Again, I'm all about moving things forward. If we're within the legal limits, I think we should move forward. If we had an issue where we forgot to get 3 quotes, and that's something we can take back as lessons learned, but if we are within the limits to do this, if we feel that that Florida Dock and Boat Lift are a reputable company that have done the work for other municipalities and/or private owners, and they're comfortable with the work, then we can move forward with it, so long as we feel that this is in the range of what a pier would cost. My opinion, I don't foresee getting much savings lower than $166,000 for a pier. Excuse me. If we are, it's going to be minute, and then now we're comparing it versus the cost of time and efforts, and is the juice really worth the squeeze for that? Again, I'm all about moving things forward, so my opinion is that we just move forward on this, and then any future projects, to Debbie's point, then we will get 3 other quotes in order to start saving money, unless there's another personal reason, of course, that I'm not privy to. I just say that we just take those lessons learned and move forward. Again, this is not a major lift like Minneola Trailhead Park was. That was in the millions. That, of course, is a full stop, and we do get 3 quotes. With the number this small or large, however you want to look at it, I think it's fine moving forward. My thoughts, opinion.
Joe, any comments?
What's the objective of having this pier? Can I ask that? What's the purpose of the pier?
The purpose of the pier is for the first responders and the veterans that are at this memorial site, and pretty much anybody else that would like to use it. They can fish off the pier. They can just go out there and just see whether it is a space shuttle that's going off, whether anything like that. It's just something giving back to the residents to bring the community together even more.
So Pam, it's another offering from the city to the residents for them to.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's another offering that they can, that they can enjoy and use on their
Yep.
privy.
How do they get there? Is there a parking? Is there any parking?
I believe it's off the trail?
It's right off the trail, yeah.
So
It's
they
actually right,
walk to the pier along the trail from some parking lot someplace, or they come from their homes and walk?
they can come from their homes, they can come from walking, they can even park at Waterfront Park, and they can take it down from there. You can, wherever. It's
for people
it's
walking
accessible for
Correct,
people
yeah.
walking by, yes, sir. It's right across the street from the actual,
Go out on
Yeah, it's across the street from the memorial site.
And from what I gather, the pier is 10 feet wide. Would probably hold, I don't know, 20, 30 people,
If not more, I don't know, I don't,
more or less.
yeah,
I think it depends on how deep into the lake it goes.
right. How wide, how further out it goes.
Kind of a nicety thing for people walking by. $166,000. But, I don't know. I personally wouldn't spend the money.
Okay.
But I'd get rid of that boat that's on the shoreline.
Okay. So can I get a motion for some action on this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move forward with the purchase request of item 16 for the pier at Heroes Memorial Park.
Got a motion, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
So it passes 3-2. Just want to make sure they document it. Ms. Flynn, you got everybody? Okay. Okay. Municipal Service Taxing Unit 1-year extension, second reading.
Okay, did you want to do the Whispering Woods Amenity Center first, or
Oh, did I do- oh, yeah, sorry.
whichever?
Whispering Winds Amenity Center, sorry about that.
It's all right. This is a quasi judicial matter, so if there's anybody that wants to speak, you can come on up. If there's anybody that wants to speak on this matter, if they could please raise their right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give this evening is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Gabby Castro with Inspire. I'll have a short presentation. Just to show you guys what the amenity center site plan looks like. So it's located in Sugarloaf, south of County Road 455, west of North Hancock Road Extension, and the amenity site itself is 0.64 acres. So here is Whispering Winds subdivision, and the shaded part, if I can do this correctly, the hatched area is the amenity site park track. So the request for the site plan is a amenity track with a pool, restroom, cabana, and 9 off-street parking areas with some landscaping and park tracks, which I'll show in the next slide. So those are located here, and some landscaping here, mail kiosk here. That's what the cabana bathrooms will look like. And Planning and Zoning reviewed the request on March 6th. Planning and Zoning recommended approval 3-2, and subject to the following conditions. The first one was to address the outstanding comments. Those 2 comments have been addressed, so there's no more outstanding comments. And the others were to request for permeable pavement, native and drought-tolerant plantings, making sure that canopy trees provide long-term shade, and ensure that lighting is dark sky compliant. And if the applicant wants to come up, they can talk about how those 4 have been addressed, or what they're going to do with those 4. That's all I have.
The applicant wants to come forth. In the meantime, Ms. Flynn, what were the 2 abstaining? What were the reasons that you got 2 nays on that?
They wanted to detail with the planning and zoning because of, well, they did the dark sky compliant. Everything here, there was a couple people that just,
The 2 voted no. You had 2 that voted no. Why did they vote no?
they just didn't like it. They didn't see the need for it. They didn't, I don't have my notes on that. I think it was in our packet.
They just said, I don't like it, and voted
Well,
no?
it wasn't more or less that they didn't like it. Let me see. I brought my P&Z units. Where's Joyce? Is she here?
There's no variances being asked for this, correct?
I'm
No,
sorry?
no. I'm just trying to understand why you can just like, I don't like it, let's
Well, it
no.
wasn't more of they didn't like it. The
opinion-based.
approval was when Nicole was talking about the parking lot, the dark skies, the canopy trees, the two nays on it. I was trying to think who was the nay on it. Because it was a month ago. I'd have to pull the minutes on that. Were you here, Jennifer? Or Joyce?
Okay, I was just curious on, I mean, it's your board and why they voted no, and I think just because they don't like it is probably not a good, that doesn't really hold up in court very well. I mean, there's got to be some sustainable reason. We've dealt with this before on the last one of, I don't like it, doesn't.
Well, it wasn't more or less they didn't like it. They had good reasons why they didn't. I just don't have those notes with me.
So, one quick question for me, for the parking, is that sufficient within city code for this size building and for the residents? Has that been addressed and that's all within specification?
Time seems a little bit.
It's a question
I'm assuming they checked that, I don't know. Did y'all check the parking?
Yeah.
Yes, there's no variances or everything meets city code, so.
Right,
parking-
but so
parking
you
meets-
specifically met city code when it comes to parking for amenities for this size development?
Okay, can you go?
Correct. There's no, your land development code doesn't have specifically amenities, but there is recreational tracks, and it does meet those criteria.
Can you go back to the plan?
How many dwelling units is it for this development?
Do you know that information?
The site plan for just the one.
So we don't know. 205. So do we think that 9 parking spots is enough for 205 residents for an amenity? I don't think so.
Can you make it, is that the best one you have going? Do you have one that's bigger?
Just the amenity?
Yeah, just the amenity.
Not
So what,
Because I'm seeing. So technically, you have 9 parking spaces is all that you're offering on this one? Yeah,
Mark Stully, Pape Dawson, 2602 East Livingston Street. Yes, that's the code required parking, and that's what we're offering.
okay, so code for what? Like, how are you
For
coming, how are you coming with a code? I'm just trying, I guess, to Councilman Hernandez, how are you coming up with 9?
There is on sheet CO2 for recreation, the recreation center, the code requirement is 1 space per 100 square foot of covered space.
so what I've been told was that
So
it
you're,
was.
you're.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So you're basing it off 8 parking spaces for the clubhouse, but you're not counting the pool as a covered space for the square footage?
Right.
Correct.
Do you think that's wise?
So
When fencing.
that's what that code criteria is. In a local neighborhood park, they consider anything within a quarter-mile walking distance to be a neighborhood walkable park. If you look at this entire development, this park to the far reaches is basically a quarter mile, just over, I think it's 0.27. So you're within that range of it being a walkable park as they define it. And that's the code criteria that was established for the amount of parking space that we needed, and that's what we met.
Are the mailboxes located in this area, in this
The
parcel?
mailboxes are relatively close, and I believe there's another 4 or 5 parking spaces there.
I'm just,
We also have allowable on-street parking on one side of the road. The roads are made wide enough to allow emergency access around it, so you have the ability also to park within proximity on the street.
Mayor, you asked a question, and it was brought to my attention that Bill and Ken were the two that voted no because they didn't think the 9 spaces were enough. That's where the 2 no's came into play. They didn't agree that the spaces were enough, and those parking spaces don't seem to be enough. I'd have to agree with that.
Is it
the
really
lighting.
8, is it really 9, or is it just 8 and a handicap? I mean,
Well, yeah, and that brings, yeah.
that's probably the question there.
Which is how they, any parking requirement, that's how they look at it. They give you the overall spaces, and based on the overall spaces, you have the minimum number of those spaces that need to be handicapped. So that's a standard way of calculating it.
Right, but to answer your question, Mayor, that was the answer. Those were the 2, and that was the reason why, is because the parking spaces,
I
they
was
didn't
just
feel
looking
that
for
were
a
enough.
valid
Yes,
reason.
a reason why the 2
So,
no's, that's what it was.
Scott, how does this stand on the parking spaces? How many parking spaces do you have in yours? Do you realize?
Quite a lot.
They back, do you have a lot? I mean, I'm asking you from your opinion because your generation is different than our generation.
Can
Yeah,
you-
we have a large parking lot, unless there is a neighborhood, neighborhood party, touch a truck or whatnot, it does not get filled up. But we also have a large, pool, and I think it doesn't get filled up because it's large enough where it won't get filled up. If ours was 8, it would for sure be filled up all the time. And I think Parkview of the Hills is
Do you have a lot of party? I'm just thinking of the aspect,
300
I don't,
300 homes.
in my neighborhood, we don't have, we have a lake.
Mm-hmm.
And we get more than 8 cars out there on the lake on the weekends. But I'm just thinking, the first time, little Sally has a birthday party,
Correct, yeah.
and they all show up there, is 8 a spot. And coming to the attorney, is parking something that is at council's discretion? They meet minimum requirements? How do you play this?
Well, you have to follow the code, obviously, and I'm not familiar from memory as to what the parking is, but I do believe, as was stated, I think it's just tied for amenity centers based on the building or the structure itself.
But
So it's-
amenity center,
yeah. Again,
and
I
it's
don't,
going to be the part of, yes, it meets it for the square footage of the clubhouse, but it doesn't include the square footage of the pool.
right,
And so I feel that the amenity is the pool and a clubhouse, and so it should meet the square footage of the pool plus the clubhouse is where
Yeah.
I'm feeling.
Are you guys, it looks like you may have some room to the east. Are you guys willing to add some other parking on the other side of the property?
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of the question here. We have a requirement for spaces, which we're meeting, and in order to provide more spaces in such a small community where I think, again, national standards are if you're within a quarter mile, that's considered a walkable park, we're gonna remove amenities to provide parking. So, I mean, if that's,
So what
I
amenities?
I don't know if that's a plus.
What amenities are you removing?
Well, we're proposing not to remove any.
Huh? I'm asking you, I'm
Right,
like,
but if you were
you're
to-
saying you're moving, if we ask for
Well,
more.
in order to add more parking, we'd have to remove something. So we have the pool on one side, and John, if you want to explain what the remainder of the facilities are on that. I believe there's some open space for playfield.
Exactly. So the opposite side of where the parking currently is, we have 2 open lawn areas that are there to allow for neighborhood gatherings.
It's more gatherings.
It's,
Yeah, because if
I think the question comes to council is, what do we define as an amenity? And they're saying under rooftop is the square footage. But then they're saying you're gonna lose a play field for kids can't go play ball on Saturdays when there's not a team. I mean, it's y'all's choice of how you want to look at this, but.
And again, I think if you do consider the size of this neighborhood, that for the majority of the people, this is almost easier to just walk 5 or 6 houses down versus getting in your car and driving there.
What is Brad, can you put the plan back up, please, of the whole property project?
And then you have the ability to park on the street if you did drove there and the facility was crowded And then right in that little triangle to the, just directly right is where the mail kiosk
Okay,
is.
so let's talk parking on the street. What side of the street is your fire hydrants on?
The opposite side of the parking. I don't have that information in front of me, so I can't tell you that right now. Sorry.
It's a lot of houses for 8 spaces.
So Parkview has 37 spots.
And how many homes?
I'm confirming, I think it's 303.
And how many is in this one?
205.
So what's the equation? You got the math? The comparison, if you have 3, what is that? What is parking spaces per household?
Yeah, give me a second.
Rounding.
Yeah, I need to do calculations.
Okay.
1 second. It's 8.18. So it looks like 1 parking spot per 8 dwelling units. What's the total in your neighborhood?
205.
But what's in Jennifer's? I'm sorry, Jennifer, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
One space.
25 spaces.
That's a lot more, or a lot more
25.6.
yeah, yeah, she's
They
got,
meet your criteria. So if they go with Ardmore piece,
Hold on.
They go-
I just got the exact count. Let me redo it. 1 second. Eight spots here. So just for comparison, Parkview is at, rounding up, 11 houses, 11 dwelling units per space, where this is 26 units per space. And then, Jennifer, you said how many? 32 houses per space? Thirty-seven, so,
32, 37, doesn't matter, it's still more.
so more, yeah.
I mean, it's your call. I'll support whatever council wants. I mean, you could go both ways on it. I still think that the amenities is the pool, but
No, I agree.
I think planning and zoning made a point to bring that forward and express their concerns, and I have to agree with that. That's just my opinion with the response from planning and zoning.
But that being said, Mark, I'm sorry, not Mark, Scott, like I said, they're not really not at meeting or exceeding any code, or they're not meeting codes.
Correct. I don't, just off the hand, I don't know if, Gabby, do you know, is there any specific parking requirement or code for amenity centers, or what
So
what
the
do
way
you use?
parking's calculated, it's the like exterior building. So correct, there's no building, there's a cabana footprint. So that would be how typically it gets measured.
But theoretically, and let's just talk this piece to understand. If I put a pool up there, if I put an Olympic-sized pool up there, and I put a 10 by 10 gazebo next to it, and that's it, their parking spaces has to meet the gazebo, not the pool, even though the pool's what's gonna get used.
I think the notion is this is a neighborhood park. They're not going to have Olympic-sized pools in a
I'm just,
neighborhood.
but you know what I'm saying, the pool is gonna be
Yes,
used.
right.
Because
Yeah. And I think that would be the type of issue need to spell out in the code or put in the development agreement when it's approved if the parking is a concern. I mean, obviously, you don't want a community, and I'm sure they don't want a community that you have parking issues, but as Jennifer mentioned, I think this is consistent with what other developments have had
It's
as
in the
far as
middle.
spots.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've got,
Understand.
it's at the either end. I mean, I can go any, I'll support whatever council's the will of council on this.
I'd like to also just point out, if you're at 9 and you think it needs to be 12 or 14 or whatever, that parking is available right adjacent to the park on the street. So it's not like there's not parking immediately available right there just because it's not a designated
It's-
parking space. And if you want to add more parking lot, it's at the expense of removing the actual
that was-
amenity for the community.
That was my question that I asked you, is where was is it really adjacent to the park? Because,
It's throughout the subdivision on the road.
so you only,
There's
you,
parking on
so
one
you,
side of the
you-
street.
you allow parking on both sides of the street in the subdivision?
One side of the street.
Okay, and that would be the side of the street that doesn't have the fire hydrant?
Correct, and I'm not sure if that's the side that is adjacent to the park or on the other side of the road, not that crossing the road. There are crosswalks to get across. right
So,
there at the-
what you're saying then is, you should just, if there's overflow parking at the pool
Just park right in the street next to the amenity.
or across the street in front of somebody's house.
Correct, which is where people park anyways. Or it may be on the amenity side. Again, I don't have that plan in front of me.
Yeah, well,
But the point is that there is parking within proximity, immediately adjacent to the park. And I think you're looking at a situation where, if you're thinking you're 4 or 5 spaces short, that's for a maximum day when you have all those people there. That doesn't occur on a daily basis. Majority of the day, people are at work. It's only on the weekend that you may see that, and it's not gonna be every weekend. So to remove amenity facilities within the park itself, just to add additional parking that may get used once a week.
Oh, I'm not talking about mini centers, I'm talking about losing 2 lots, from my aspect.
Well, we have a preliminary plat that is been
Okay,
approved
but
with our lot count.
you do, and preliminary plats can get adjusted if they have to, if you need the amenity center. Sometimes you have to decide. It's a compromise. It's like, you do amenity centers, or you do your lots. It's a choice. That's what life is about. That's why it's called preliminary, not a final.
Which again, when we designed it, we were meeting your code, so we assumed that
Okay.
was what would govern here.
I would like to really see this tabled so we can sit back and really think about this, and we can talk about it later.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
I will also add, we did try to put parallel parking adjacent to the park facility.
I'd like to know where the fire hydrants are, what side of the street, I would like to actually see a visual of where you're gonna park these people. And since you're not prepared to tell me what side of the street your fire hydrants are on, I think you can come back next time and we can talk that piece. I would like to see that.
I'll make a motion to table item 14.
So I can tell you that.
You couldn't tell me a minute ago. We can wait. I'll wait.
Well, I
I'm
have
kind
the
of,
plan
I'm kind of
here.
over it now. We'll wait till next time. I asked you if you had it. You
I
said
have
no.
it.
You said no. We're gonna go with the no.
But I have it.
Sorry. That train left the station. You can come back in 2 weeks.
It's on the side that you want it on. It's on the side adjacent to the park is the parking.
Yeah, I'd like to see it up on the screen, please, a visual of it.
You turn to sheet C400.
You have it? Okay, so we'll be better prepared for the next meeting, and we'll take care of that. I have a motion to table this to the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Can you understand about the amenities a little bit more? Purchase request,
Item 15, the ordinance.
Item
so
15.
it's
Municipal.
municipal taxing unit.
Ordinance 2026-04 on second reading, and it's ordinance of the City Council of the City of Minneola, Florida, consenting to remain within the countywide municipal service taxing unit for ambulance and emergency medical services, providing for a one-year extension, providing for an effective date. We would recommend approval.
Any comments from the audience? Bring it back to council.
Make a motion to approve item 15,
15.
ordinance 2026-04, municipal service, MSTU, one-year extension.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
First and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Green Swamp. Are we there now? Purchase.
17.
Yes, 17.
North of Sullivan Road, Green Swamp Reserve Incorporated. This is the parcel that's next, semi-adjacent to the wastewater treatment plant for a possible RIBS location and expansion.
Yeah, this is 16 acres located near the wastewater treatment plant, and the intention of the property purchases for wastewater plant expansion in the future.
So, just have one thing, and just, I think we all know the answer, but just for the record, this is absolutely needed for the way that we're seeing, and the way that we're seeing population grow and the development that we are expecting to come to Minneola, correct?
Correct. And also the trend of, higher densities.
Yes, that's what I meant too as well. Yeah. So, it's required, it's needed in the future.
What did this appraise at? What did this appraise at, Mark?
It appraised at 3.39 million, I
Okay.
believe. Let me double check that.
Yeah, two additional things to mention, just for purposes of tonight. Your approval tonight is not closing on the property, you're just approving the contract. We still have a 90-day due diligence period where you can cancel at any time if something comes up that's,
Okay, that's
for whatever reason. The second thing is, although the intention is to use it for wastewater at this point, it's not limited to those purposes. So should circumstances change in the future, we have flexibility with regards to that. So
You need to move a public works building there or something like that.
that can affect the funding, of course, but for now, we'll move ahead with that intended purpose.
Everybody in Minneola does composting, then we can do something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience want to speak on this? It's land. It's an investment. It's not going to depreciate.
It's needed.
Can I get a motion to approve? And on this one, Scott, we need 4? Majority plus one.
Oddly, no, you only need 3 to purchase, you need 4 to sell, so, but you can, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, believe it or not, no, I don't make this up, but.
Don't understand that. All right, I'll make a motion to approve Green Swamp Reserve for a cool price of $3 million.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Speed bumps for Park Valley Circle.
So if I may, I did bring this up as one of my end reports, and it has continued to be asked for me to bring this up. So I went ahead and I asked Mark, a couple of meetings back, I believe it was, to put this on the agenda. From there on out, I did my due diligence, and I went to the neighbors just to make sure that if there was a speed hump to be placed in that vicinity, in that area, if they would object at all about it. And I'll tell you, it went beyond that. It didn't just stop there, it stopped with, we've got kids, we've got this, we've got speeders, we got the buses. I mean, it just opened up a huge can of worms, but I'm, right now, for this moment, I definitely would like to see if we can have one placed in that area, in that loop of Park Valley Circle. I don't know where is the best place for it, that's not my thing, but we have a very large volume of children that play in that area.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. The challenge that we're having, and is with the backup on Jalarmy, we're having a lot of people cut through the neighborhood from 561, cutting through to come out at the light. So we do have excess traffic there. I don't know where to put it, but I think as we set precedents, I know you have some in your neighborhood, we put some in theirs, and we're gonna, I just don't know where to put them, but if we want to move forward and this be the next one, then I'm fine with it. I think we kind of have done that, if that's.
Yeah, that's fine. I know that we didn't do speed bumps, but we did put stop signs in Parkview, so that's fine. We can move forward.
So what do you need from us, Mark?
We'd like to have an approval that's the council's will to install those there.
Can we look at the speed tables instead of speed bumps?
It does say speed bumps, but it'd be more like humps. It'd be
It'd be equivalent within Oak Valley.
right.
Okay, so those are speed bumps, right?
They're
thought the speed
not
tables
quite
were like
humps,
the
but
one
they're
on
not
Lake
quite
Shore.
bumps. They're more like humps, though, yeah. Not cushions, not humps, not tables, but they're a little bit of a sharp hump.
Are they like Oak Valley entrance ones?
Exactly like that.
Not like Lake Shore?
Not like the gas station next door. Those are bumps.
But you know what I'm talking about with Lake Shore, that's like super wide and like,
That's a table.
That's a table.
that's a table, okay.
Not a
okay,
table.
Okay.
Not a
I think we
bump.
should have a workshop
That's
on
fine.
speed bumps and speed humps.
No workshop.
Know your bumps and
But I
humps,
will
yeah, that's
say
right.
that the one by Oak Valley, it has,
Oh my God.
for me, because I take that way, it has definitely slowed people down.
But has it slowed you down?
I don't think her car can go past 20 miles an hour, so I think she should be fine.
It does. So yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
She got rid of the D-sized batteries.
The other thing I asked is, can we put up signs saying speed hump, speed bump, whatever we want to call it ahead? That way there's no, at least, but will that protect us from liability purposes, Scott, or not really?
We have those in Oak Valley.
So we will install it according to the manual that we're
Yeah.
required to install all the
That-
striping and signage.
And that is where the problem comes in play. Is because people don't want the speed hump sign in front of their house. They want the speed bump, but they don't want the sign in front of their house. When you look at their house, it's a big sign that says speed hump. So you need to let sure where you place it that the people on your neighborhood are gonna get signs, warnings. That's where the problem comes in play.
You get those, and then depending on the kind of curbing
Oh,
on the
yeah, 'cause
roadway.
people don't want the sign in front of their house. They don't want to look out their front window and see a sign. They want the speed hump, they don't want the sign.
Wow.
And they don't like string trimming around them. And depending on the type of curbing, cars tend to veer one side of the vehicle off to avoid. And so
Yes,
it tears
that-
up people's grass, and they get upset about that,
So, yeah, there's-
understandably.
Well, we have, yeah, understood. I
Depends on
get
the
it.
kind of curbing, but
So it's not a problem in Oak Valley, because where they put them in Oak Valley, it doesn't have the rollover curbs. It's got the 90s, but I think where you are, you have the rollover curves, so
the dip,
people will. So, yeah,
then the noise, we'll get complaints about the noise of the cars going over them, so.
Well,
okay. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Always put them in, take them out.
That's the good thing about these, they're not gonna be asphalt
Just-
ones, so.
Just move forward on this project.
Oh, it's a discussion, yeah.
Consensus to move forward?
Yes.
If somebody make a motion,
Joe?
What?
are you good with putting speed humps?
Have at it.
I'm fine.
As long as it's not in front of my house.
What about the sign?
No.
Sign comes with the speed bump.
yep, that's right. And I think that's why I did what I did. I actually went to the neighbors on either side of the road, and I got their signatures and their consent that if it does come, it will be there and wherever it may be.
Are you talking, you're talking in Park Valley, when you go in, you make a right and down in front of where you're at, the 90 degree all the way up
That
to-
cul-de-sac all the way up to go towards your
Not,
house.
because my mother-in-law lives on the other side, but nobody really goes around the back
Yeah,
side of it.
no.
It's
And-
just the right.
And I'll be quite honest with you, they've actually asked for 2 speed humps. Speed bumps, humps, lumps, whatever you want to call them. They asked for 2 of them, because they said, you can even put one up here and down, and so I went even further down the road and asked, would you object to what, and no, put it, so. I didn't know about the sign, the whole sign thing, in front of someone's house, but with the amount of children that actually play in that area, I think that they couldn't deal with a sign. That's just my personal opinion, but I will be asking. But yeah,
Good.
thank you.
And the signs have to go in. There's,
Absolutely. Oh, no, I'm going to ask, and they're just going to tell me their
Yes,
opinion.
can you let her know where they put the speed humps and what houses will be affected with the signs?
Yeah, yeah. And I did mention that I would try to find out where they would be going, they or it, I don't know, but whatever it is, so that they're aware of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only person that wants to discuss speed bumps in their neighborhood. There is a gentleman that was here 2 meetings ago that unfortunately he wasn't here this evening, that he wanted me to remind him how to go about, doing this. So I'll be reaching out to him as well.
One neighborhood at a time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So we all have consensus on that. Is there anything else? Everything else got tabled?
No, park updates. Back up for Trailhead.
Park updates.
Yeah, so let me pull that up.
While you're doing that, can I ask you a question, just for consideration?
Sure.
I know it's your park, but we were bringing this up. With the rebranding of the park and all that, is there a way that I thought this would be an opportunity to call it like Trailhead Centennial Park, since you're putting the second phase onto it, so you can kind of, it's the Centennial, you're opening it up, Trailhead. Keep Trailhead as part of the name, but Trailhead Centennial,
How about Eric Hernandez's Trailhead Centennial?
that's what
There
you
we
want to
go.
do, that's fine.
No, we could add Centennial. I think it's a good idea for it. And then we could put a nice 250 on it, since we're opening on the 250.
That's fine, as long as we don't have to pay a logo fee for that. Somebody trademarked that logo for 250 yet?
I think that was the question. No, nobody? Can we trademark that logo for?
You can put it down on a $20 bill there too.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so,
$250 bill.
I'm sorry?
A $250 bill.
Needs to create a $250 bill.
$250 bill. Well, speaking of Trump, 20 minutes, the deadline. So I think there was a picture, was there a picture for it? So as we discussed last time in the workshop, right, so we're not doing the pond demucking, or we're essentially, we're leaving the wetlands as is, and we discussed about putting lights. With discussions with SCG, there were multiple options, but I think these 2 are the best ones as far as for what we want to get done. That's a little confusing, but I'll try to explain. So on the left is, that's the original design with the 6 pod pickleball courts, and anything that is with a yellow highlighter is lit. So if we start from the parking lot will be lit, all the trails will be lit, the skate park will be lit, basketball court will be lit, and the playgrounds will be lit, and all the trails up to the trailheads all the way down the park. It's pretty self-explanatory. The second one, which after seeing the price, I think it may be too much, but this is adding the additional 6 pickleball courts, so there'll be a total of 12, and having a full lit circuit, as well as adding a trail from the beginning of the top of the trail by the baseball fields all the way down to the pickleball courts, and relocation of the pavilion. So again, on the left is original design, on the right is the augmented design with the additional pickleball courts, just to give council an idea. Brad, if we go to the pricing, So the pricing for option one will be an additional 530,000. The pricing for the second will be 1.35 million, which I think is a little too much considering that's adding about 28% more into the project cost. Again, I would love to have option two, but I know that we do have some other projects that we want to get going, so I do not mind conceding and going to option one, which will give full usability of the parks and all aspects of the park, including the playgrounds. So Jennifer, I know that you're here, of course. I want to see your thoughts on getting the actual playground lit. What are your thoughts on that? You mean to the mic? Yeah.
I will talk to just the playground.
Yep.
I think it should be lit because my comment before was it's going to be, family's going to be there, and while mom and dad are playing pickleball, the kids are going to be playing in the playground. So yes, I think that should be lit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Your project, I'll support whatever you need here.
Okay, can you go back to the picture, Brad? Okay, so based on these two, so thank you, Mayor, for that. Again, me personally, I would love to do option two, just to really build out this park, but I know the costs are substantially higher, and I'd rather see some other parks, namely the 30-acre parcel north of Hancock and the Hills. I would like to get that project underway by the end of this year, or at least under contract by the end of this year. So,
Can I say something?
yes, go ahead.
That's a different bucket of money.
Very good, thank you. You're absolutely right. It is, that's why I forgot about that. It's a
different bucket of money.
It's a different CRA.
different CRO will be funding that. The 30-acre, yes. And hold on, and just to iterate, that 30-acre parcel is not part of the CDD. It's not owned by the Hills. That is a city of Minneola parcel that is owned by the city, and the CRA is also owned and managed by the city. Is that correct? Is that correct? Is that
So,
correct? Okay,
yes.
just want to make sure, because we all were here
I'm just
for that
saying-
workshop.
I'm just saying you have CRAs for funds coming in.
Yes, yeah, I know.
So if you've got them coming in for the next couple of years, what other project do you have on the play? You've got Memorial Park, you've got we just approved the pier, did the skate park. What other large, we bought a bunch of property with it. What else is there? I would get with Mark to see that option.
In the downtown CRA?
Yeah.
So-
Like, what other funds do you have that you want to use down? What
So-
else you want to use that? What's your 5-year plan on the downtown CRA?
So for me, again, on a park-centric mentality would be to get this park up and running, to get the park up by your neighborhood, Debbie, up and running as well. But again, those smaller parks, those neighborhood pocket parks, I think obviously will be a lot less from a budget perspective. I don't think we need to hire, a company to do those. We could probably take care of that internally. Mark, is that a correct statement?
It is, except for I would like to sub out the playground installation because there's some liability with that, make sure it's exactly right.
Right, but the point being that the budget for those is not gonna be $4 million or $1 million. It's gonna be substantially less, right? So I don't think the draw from the CRA is gonna go into play for those types. So from my perspective, again, from a parks view, there's not a lot from the downtown. I do know that we as a council have also wanted to see, Main Street. We had that workshop where we wanna see all those bricks paved up. We wanna see that made into a boulevard. So I do know that we wanna see that kind of get off the ground, which I don't know what happened to that, but I know that that's been wanting to do that.
So, and since I'm on my way out, I can just say these things, just like, what the hell? You've seen how long it's taken to get this project done. If you don't put things in the pipeline now, there's no project on this board, that this council wants that's gonna get done in 2 years. There's just points here that somebody's come in that vision, like, yeah, we wanted to do the parks, but they could change. The person that comes in next, like, what do you want to do? You need to.
Again, if it's that simple, and if we have the funds, which sounds like we do, because my concern was doing the 30-acre parcel.
You need to get with more.
Correct. So if the funds are available, again, I would like to go with option 2, so we can seal and sign and dust Trailhead. So I need consensus from council if you want me to explore that. After Mark, you and I can get together and see what those funds look like, so we can go with option 2. If not, then we can go with option 1 if the funds just aren't there. Again, I would just like council's discussion and approval which direction they would like me to go.
I would say if we're going to do it, we need to do it right. We need to do it right the first time, and and go ahead with option 2. Now that we've clarified where, as far as that, by the hills, those,
That's a different.
that's huge, you know, knowing that and moving forward. I think option 2 right now with that brought up needs to be looked at, most definitely. And thank you for clarifying that as far as the 30 acres.
Okay, Debbie, thoughts?
It's a lot of money, but I agree, if we're gonna do it, we need to do it right.
Joe?
So what does that bring the total for the trailhead park to?
About 4 total, 4, 4, 5. We'll get the exact numbers. Again, these are high-level estimates just so we can get consensus from council. I think, Mark, you and I could probably tackle this by this week, so we can, maybe, I don't think we need to wait till the next council meeting, maybe just send an email, Mark, to all of council, just let them know the final numbers so that we can get this underway. Again, ideally, I know that we said we were gonna break grounds May 1st. I don't see that happening. I think this may be pushed to June, but these type of decisions have to be made pretty quickly if we wanna get this done by Centennial. Yes, that's why
Yes.
we need to have this completed by Centennial, so we need to make a decision pretty quickly.
Yes.
Can we, how do we do this, Scott?
It's your pleasure.
To move it forward? Do we wait 2 weeks? Do we do a special meeting next week to approve this, just for this, or
Or can we go through this now?
what do we do?
You can approve this evening that change to the plans and go from there.
Okay, so I got an idea. We'll do this. Can we make them, and I think I got where both of you guys are going. Can someone make a motion to approve option 2 based pending final review of budget between Mark and I to ensure that there's funding within this? If not, then we will default to option 1.
I'll make that motion.
And Scott?
Scott, you go with that from a legal terms? I got the attorney thumbs up?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Got a motion?
Thank you.
I'll second.
Got a second? If you want
We did second, first and second.
Yeah,
to, did you second?
yeah,
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 that was the
he
first, that was the
seconded.
second.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I apologize.
it's okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Hold on, did you have a comment? Yeah, you can.
You already voted, though, for something?
First off, I didn't know that that could be approved without it having been on the agenda, an agenda item. That's the first time I've seen that.
Well, that's why I said, since Parks is always on the agenda under,
Project updates.
under project updates, that's why I asked Scott in the beginning of the meeting, can we discuss and vote on this? And he did. From a legal standpoint, he did say yes, which is why I decided to move forward.
Okay, Scott.
By the
my
way, that's an internal policy that council has set themselves about just sort of, so in other words, it's not a law that prohibits them from approving these type of things, so it's just
Without
kind
it
of like
being
voting at
An item on
workshops.
an agenda. I thought that you had to have the item on the agenda. I thought that was,
No, there's no requirement that you can't vote on, that everything has to be on the agenda to be voted on. That's not a legal requirement.
Okay.
Again, it's good practice to put people on notice of things,
Right, right.
obviously, but it doesn't prohibit it
yes.
from action.
Just a couple things on that. I would have asked, what's the ROI on adding, 100% more pickleball courts? Now you're looking at $50,000 every year and what they quoted, 60,000 to resurface every 3 years, that one. So now you're looking at $120,000 in resurfacing every 3 years. So consider that ongoing expense of $50,000+ a year for maintenance cost just for the pickleball courts. And then I would also ask, is the parking sufficient to accommodate those, what do they call it, picklers? Pickleheads?
Yeah, people that play pickleball?
Yeah, okay. To accommodate them coming into the park, considering we're not getting the in and out on the Highway 50, so parking is a question. And then the loss of space to actually do events there is dwindling, considering you're gonna have the overflow parking and on that side by the pond. So I would just have considered where exactly are you going to put vendors and stages and stuff like that?
So, I'll try to answer all your questions, best of my ability. The ROI, that is a great question. This would allow us to host different tournaments and to rent out the pickleballs to
Right.
private events, so we will get some income from that.
Yeah, that's what my question is, what is the ROI on that?
Yeah, I can give you the stats. Pickleball's, like everybody knows, the fastest growing sport. You know, there's tournaments that are held. There's actually no tournaments held in Lake County that I know of in the south. So we could be one of the first, or the way it typically works is kind of similar to like softball leagues where somebody will come to us and say, hey, I want to throw a tournament in your courts. Can I rent it out? We lease it out to them and then they, you know,
Yeah.
they do their thing. Did I answer that question?
No, I mean,
I would have to look at hard figures to give you
yeah,
a true
yeah,
ROI.
that's what I would.
Yeah, I would have to look at the financials of how a
Because it's like,
pickleball-
if you're gonna hold tournaments there, then you would hopefully at least get the money back on the wear and tear of the pickleball courts.
course.
So I don't know what those numbers are, I just assume the numbers.
No, there definitely is a number, and even if the city was to host its own tournament, you know, like on a larger scale, more than we did a couple weeks ago, there is still entry fees, there's still other fees that they would have to pay that will equate up to being able to do the maintenance of this. In the perfect world, this is a fully self-sustainable pickleball court area where anything that it brings in is used for its maintenance upkeep. But again, I don't want to give you numbers without, I need to look at a similar park and see what their financials look like and compare it
Yes.
to what this could be.
True.
Second question for parking, we are extending parking up to the top, so parking is going to be extended up. So,
Only during the daytime though, right?
no, that's on the left side. On the right side, it will be, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but, so parking.
way.
Yes, parking all the way to the right, that's going to be
Where the
extended.
road-
Yes, correct.
the
Those are
exit
additional
road
parking.
is.
Yes. The parking that's only be during the day is the jetty that goes out to the left.
Yes. So is that enough to comment? I don't know.
At most, you have 4 times 12, that's 48. 48, there's over 48 parking spots, so yes, but I highly doubt you're gonna get more than that, or you're gonna have people that carpool as well. That's assuming that everybody
Well,
drives
most of
their
the
own car.
parking is taken up from my, I mean, I know Franzi could probably speak better, is the trail bikers. Every time I go there, there's just, the parking lot is full, and there's hardly anybody around, so I'm assuming they're all biking on the trail.
Biking through it?
Yeah, but, I don't know for sure.
And then your last question, what was the other concern?
Losing space for like vendor, like events and
Yes.
stuff.
So that is a good point. However, I'm not sure if we were in this meeting, but the city does own another large parcel that is north of here, in between, right over here. But we were thinking to do the,
Over by Ardmore?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have a huge parcel there.
Yeah, so we are working through how we're gonna get through traffic to that, but I mean, how many acres is that,
Yeah, there's
give or take?
the parcel between, we have the parcel between Quail Valley and Ardmore, that big,
Yeah.
huge, flat piece. It's just accessibility to get a road cut back there if we were gonna do another park there, so. But
Venue area.
that's past
But
my
I'm
lifetime.
talking specifically about this one.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so again, yes, to your point, it's obviously that we are gonna be losing green space, you know, in order for, to add these amenities. What I'm saying is that there are other opportunities within the city that, you know, will eventually, will we have to move some of the festivals that we hold here to other parks? So there is a possibility that may happen, just like any other growing community, they outgrow their existing lots.
Yeah.
You know, do I foresee that happening next year or the year after? No, I think that we can still find ways in order to make it happen.
Well, I mean, my main concern is the centennial celebration with all the planned events and all of that. Is there enough space for all of your awesome things that are coming?
That is an amazing question
And
for
I think
grants.
Grant
Yes,
Grant would
I-
need to
I
answer that.
agree, yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
And I would love for you to hold
I may
that question
not
for
be
that,
here, I don't
that
know.
evening, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you for
Thanks,
that.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any final public comments?
Oh, hey Jennifer, long time no talk.
Should have stayed back up
Please
there.
state your name.
We can get you a
Mattress.
stool, you could just sit there.
Yes, ma'am.
Jennifer Morse, 1064 Golden Dawn Loop. Okay, real quick, just in case I'm not here, that parking, I feel like issue was a non-issue with Ardmore. We never have parking issues, and we have 18 spaces. If I don't remember, can you please ask them to put non-slip flooring in their pool area, because Ardmore had to pay, the HOA had to pay to resurface it to that, like, non-slip stuff because kids were falling, and the developer, had just painted a slippery surface, so I would request that. To the main discussion, I wrote this down. I'm not sure what happened to the list of ongoing projects that we were talking about. I did go through, I would love a garbage road cleanup update. I haven't heard anything about that. Where's the accountability for the cleanup that they did? The Grassy Lake Education Road widening says it's estimated to be completed this summer, 2026. I haven't seen anything being done on that and haven't heard anything, so I would like an update on that. How are the second fire station in the hills? It says a year ago the design should be completed by now. And then speaking of water conservation, the city is doing, how is the city doing getting reclaimed water turned on? The last update in March 2025, I see was that the reclaimed water was supposed to be 100% online within a year to 1.5 years. So we are at 1.3 years right now. So I would love updates on all of that so we don't lose track and keep everyone momentum up.
No, absolutely. And to your point, I have not asked for those updates as I was being focused on Trailhead, but now that this is getting done and dusted, those will be coming back next week, or in 2 weeks. We will be getting all those updates yet again, or once again. But we have been doing, we just stopped the last month and a half while focusing on Trailhead. But those will be coming back up.
Okay. Can anyone at least tell me about the widening on Education and Grassy Lake?
Sure, we've been in contact with Lake County and the state. Lake County has done some changes to their engineering department. So our go-to person has now been assigned to the north end of the county. We have a different person on the south end. He's getting up to speed on that. We are asking the county to help fund the portion that we didn't get legislative allocation for. But we did have it designed. One of the points we're working with on the state right now, there's a tiny fraction of right-of-way, or maybe be able to get through with a construction easement on Ardmore side. And so they're trying to sort through that now. We're ready to go. We're just waiting for also the county to confirm funding, and we're pushing for that as hard as we can. The county has been included in the design all the way along from day one. The new person that's assigned to our end down here, he wants a couple of changes to the plan after it's already been designed and done. So they're working through all of that right now. But one of the big holdups is just a little fragment of easement there, or right-of-way they're going to need, probably from the HOA and maybe a little bit from the school.
I know that we approved whatever we needed to from our end on our
On the
side.
pond, yeah.
May I ask a couple more questions
Sure.
about that? The extra funding, how much are you requesting, and what if they say no?
The remaining funding, I don't remember, I calculated that amount, I don't remember from the top of my head what that was, but we got $1 million in legislative allocation to include design, and whatever remain would be applied towards construction. So I think there's a few $100,000 there we can apply towards construction, and then the remainder, because Education Avenue, that portion of education was the county's originally, and it was funded through impact fee, transportation impact fee credits. Therefore, it's eligible for transportation impact fees. And Grassy Lake Road, of course, is a county roadway. And both of those roads get regional traffic because of the schools. It's not just a local Minneola road, you know, we get traffic from all over. So, you know, I hate to, we have a contingency plan for our part of it if we have to go down that road, but I don't want to mention what we'll have to do
Right,
if
that's fine.
they don't.
And then are we, based on all that, are we still on track? Because I know it's like, if it doesn't start, it has to be done after school year, right?
So far, we can still get it done. The contractor's ready to get started. I've been pushing our staff to push the county as hard as they can. We've got to get some answers. They're holding the job up at this point, but a lot of that was due to the transition and how they have structured their engineering department now. They've divided the county out, and they have different staff now assigned to different parts, where Jeff Earhart at one time was over the whole county. Now he's focused on the north end. We have somebody different on the south end now who has to get up to speed on all this stuff.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Legislative Corner Part 2.
Cheryl Pavlaka, 1808 Cary Street. Just a question, what the county needs to do, that's just internal, it doesn't need any to go before the Lake County Board of Commissioners, or does it?
So they're.
Would citizen support help? Because I'd be more than willing to go up to DeVaries and speak as a
When it comes
citizen.
up, so each group that was over engineering did things differently. The group now will want to bring that before the county commission, so it will have to go before them based on the new group, the way they're doing things. And when
Okay.
that does go on the agenda, we'd love for you to go help us. And
Please add my name to a mailing list or something, I'd be more than happy to try to make it up there.
Okay, thank
They're
you.
used to seeing me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Final public comment, nothing, going back to reports, Mark?
We got word of graffiti on the tunnel under Keystone Pass. We have that in the staff's work schedule to get that clean.
Thank you.
It's split-faced block, so we're gonna probably hire a company to come in and clean it, as well as some loose debris. We'll have that cleaned up. The Centennial Pickleball Tournament went well. After watching it, I went out and got me pickleball rackets and played this weekend. And some people said I went to the dark side now, but it's a
Welcome, Mark. Welcome.
it's addicting. It's a lot of fun.
It really is. I have to concur with him because I
but we-
actually went shopping for outfits, so.
Yes, we had about 18 teams, but 17 showed up. Great day, good time.
Awesome.
Everybody seemed like they were having a blast. And Clarebrook, the RV resort, you couldn't ask for better partners. The lady that runs that, I didn't realize used to be on our code enforcement board back when we had
Penny.
one of those.
Yes.
And she used to live in the city, and they treated us like family, provided food and just
They provided
refreshments and-
breakfast and lunch.
Yes, the players didn't have to pay anything for any of that, and they paid for that out of their own. And just very, wonderful. They treated us so great.
So I'm going to start doing pickleball lessons, Mark, for 10 points. It's going to be $500 an hour
Okay.
for private lessons. So Jennifer, I think we'll be able to pay this off really quickly.
When I first played, I thought I was hitting like a tennis ball. Like, no, you got to serve underhand. So
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Mark, come on. Below the waist has to be a dropping motion. All right, come on.
I'm learning. I got a lot to learn still. I'm getting there though.
Jeez Louise.
The Minneola Market will be this Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but April 22nd. The first responder, the Fishing with a First Responder, it's a centennial event. It's going to be May 16th at 7 a.m. Park Ridge HOA and the African Inland Mission, couldn't ask, again, they're so accommodating, no problem. Use our lake frontage, use our parking. They've been great to us, so that should be a nice event. Memorial Day, again, just start thinking about it. It's going to be May 25th at 10 a.m. Some stuff we're working on. We've asked Tetra Tech to start, and it may, an agreement may come before you guys, but to start designing the water line replacement for Tower Ridge subdivision, to replace that water line, install hydrants, possibly sidewalks. And what we're talking about now is, although we can't connect into sewer because of the capacity, go ahead and put the dry mains in that area while we're running the water lines. So that's something that might be coming before y'all. And that's all I have. Thank you.
I've got nothing for the city manager. Thank you, Mark.
No, I have nothing either. Thank you.
Nope, thank you, Mark.
Joey?
Nope.
Thank you, Mark.
Scott?
Scott?
Which I do have a few updates. Thanks. At the last council meeting, during comments at the end, there was some discussion about the possibility of putting on the ballot the Walmart question. I didn't say anything at the time, but I had my doubts, and those have since been confirmed. The Chapter 163 specifically prohibits local governments from putting any matters regarding development approvals or regulations as ballot questions. So that's not an option to go forward, so it'll just be something that you'll have to vote on as council members. I'll research and see if there's something short of that that can be done, but the ballot referendum is not an option. Second question, though, while talking about ballots, is I think we also talked during that discussion last time about how the funky way with our term limits now, people that fill vacancies are kind of penalized because they're cut out of a term, and we talked about extending it, I think, to possibly 10 years so that people aren't punished for helping out and filling in vacancies. If that's still the consensus of council, I can bring an ordinance forward for, you don't have to say yes now, but forward for consideration to make that change in the charter, to change it from 8.2 to 10 years as a term limits.
Yes.
If that's okay.
Yes, yes. Can we?
Don't have to,
If you don't want it, you can always vote it no when it comes here, but
Correct.
it gets it here.
it's just, yeah.
Is it 10 or is it like 10-2, just to play it safe for
I
round?
was just gonna make it 10, just unless there's a reason I'm
Because I was
missing.
always trying to understand with that piece, because I was, in our charter for me vacating my seat, it says 6 months.
Right.
And then was going to ask you for the legal opinion what a month is, because some people count it as a month. So one day is a month, as long as it's 6 different months. Some count it as 182 days, 183 days. I didn't know if a year was the same concept. If it's 365 days times 10, leap years minus, or you put that extra in for cushion. I would like for a definition of what a 6 month is. You can
Yeah.
call me later.
We can, I think we've been typically doing it the
183.
180 days or whatever that, 183, whatever that happens to be. The notion there was, frankly, originally it was just an even 8 years. The 8 years and 2 months got added because of the way people get sworn in and the delays sometimes, just to add that in, but no one thought of the potential 6 months vacancy. So that, again, that frankly disincentivizes people from filling vacancies, because they don't, if they have any desire to be on council, they lose a whole 4-year term by serving a 5 or 6 month vacancy. So we can bring that back for consideration. The third thing is,
As it reads now, just to clarify, whoever gets appointed to my seat when I leave can only run for one term.
as it reads now,
As it
yes.
reads for one term.
Because that time filling the vacancy counts towards their term limit,
But
yes.
then if they were to sit out for 2 years, could they run for another seat? I was just curious on that. You can explain that at a later date, to how that math works. If they
Right.
go 2 and then they switch seats, because somebody made the comment that you could switch seats. We can't switch seats. It's 8 years on council.
Total. no
Doesn't matter what seat you sit in.
Right, exactly.
Unless it's mayor.
No.
No.
No, it's just kidding.
If you're in the House, you're getting counted.
Correct. The third thing is an update on the gas station situation. We did conclude the mediation session this last week. There is a proposed mediated settlement agreement that will be coming back to council, currently scheduled for the May 19th meeting. By the way, the schedule passes. We'll talk to you, Mayor, about your involvement in that. You'll be under no obligation to approve it, but it basically is a potential solution to the problem that'll come back to you. We'll be providing you with copies of that agreement shortly, and it'll be available for public view, of course, as well. All the folks that were involved the first time will all be notified. Notices will go out, and so everybody has plenty of time to be up to speed and to be heard. But it'll come back to you then.
One thing on that, Scott, so obviously, we're gonna get something on council, is gonna say, hey, here's the gas station, again, with probably some minor adjustments made. If council says no,
Correct?
based on facts, not opinions this time, will that potentially lead us to an actual lawsuit?
Not yet. If you say no to the mediated settlement agreement, the new proposal, then it will go back into the special magistrate proceeding for a hearing. And then there'll be a hearing before the magistrate, and then the magistrate will issue an order, a recommendation of, frankly, like a judge, they'll issue an opinion as to whether or not you correctly or incorrectly disapprove the project. Then that recommendation will come back to you. That's sort of your last chance, short of a lawsuit. If we then would turn that recommendation down and not agree with the magistrate, then that ends the 7051 proceeding, and they can file suit at that time. So,
Okay, and just, I'm doing the math in my head. The May 19th, potentially, you will have the first reading for Walmart, because it's going to go in front of planning and zoning the first week of May.
Has that been approved and official?
I think, I understood, well, yeah.
It's supposed to go in front of planning and zoning, and it's hopefully going in front of planning and zoning in May. At the same time, you have the gas station project at Citrus Grove Road coming, the first one in May 5th. And then the magistrate, we discussed not taking, because there's so much going on, just bringing this, not putting this through planning and zoning, just bringing the
Bringing it
special
right.
magistrate straight here. So you're going to have, on the 19th, you're going to have a full schedule, because those people are, all three of them are needing their projects done as soon as possible. So you're going to have potentially a magistrate for a gas station, and then you're going to have a request for a gas station at the same meeting, so they're going to hear those discussions.
It's
and you're
actually
gonna
3
have-
gas stations.
And then you're going to have Walmart with a gas station. So it's going to be a busy meeting on the 19th.
I'll be sick that day.
The vice mayor can possibly petition the sheriff's office for some loaner Kevlar vest and helmet. As that night.
Maybe we should do a Zoom meeting that meeting?
As your liaison for the sheriff's office, I will be more than glad to do that.
But yeah, so on that meeting though, with all seriousness though, we might need to think about just having, if you can just socialize with the sheriff's office, just, there could be a lot of people and a lot of media here that night. So,
Will you be here, Mr. Mayor?
for the first 5 minutes, then I'm passing the gavel.
Well, you'll be in the audience.
Nope, probably not.
Just go walking away.
Just walking away.
He's like deuces.
So
I'm
yeah,
out.
so you've got that. So you'll start the meeting basically with resignation, appointment of a vice mayor, and then go straight into the 3 hot topics of the night.
That's May 5th.
May
May
9th.
19th. May 19th.
All right, it's gonna be great. So you'll be here for the first reading?
No,
No.
no, he started the meeting and at 6:35,
No,
6:45.
for the first meeting in May.
First meeting,
Oh.
I'm here for the
Oh,
first
yeah.
meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you may see Walmart on the agenda then.
If they go from planning and zoning, they have
Doubt that.
planning and zoning the night before.
In fact, I understood Walmart wouldn't come until at least June,
That's what I was
Joyce,
under the
yeah,
impression,
to
that they were
council.
coming
They
in
have
June.
requested May.
They can
Requested.
request all
They
they
can
want.
request, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's,
They've requested May.
That's nice.
So-
actually was, yeah.
So
Too
Ju-
bad, too sad.
Just, I want everyone to keep in mind,
I can-
June,
I
my
can request a lot of things too.
daughter is due in June.
Okay,
so-
yeah.
But
I may
to
not
be
be-
determined. But yes, we do have
Well,
some,
no.
we certainly, oh, that's
My
for
wife is
sure.
not to be
That was
determined.
sure,
That's
yeah.
100%.
That one's sure, but yeah.
So I'm just saying,
We do have some busy meetings coming up,
They
yes.
have requested, Walmart is getting antsy, and they just want to put closure to this. And so they have requested, and I reached out to Mark and requested, and he said that he would try, but there was no guarantees on it. So things adjust, and I think there's a point here where, at this time, Mark or planning needs to talk to the applicants to see, it's like, how many clowns in the clown car? So who wants to punt, who wants to get early, is there something that could come? It would have been okay if the one last night when it got tabled, and this got tabled tonight, then we would have, that would have been
It would have been fine, yeah.
Yeah, but then everything kind of compressed.
Jumbled up.
Yeah, and there is sort of a domino effect, because the other applicants are all trying to not be on the same agenda as Walmart, so everybody's sort of jockeying to see where it's
Yeah,
going.
I did meet with an applicant who was waiting, who has a project that they want to bring forth on 27, and they're waiting for everything else. So there is a ton of projects coming down the pipe that everybody's waiting. So planning and zoning, it's gonna get busy. Everything's gonna get busy.
Yeah. I will disclose, I had a meeting with someone that wants to come in on 27 as well.
But following up, we'll get you the mediated settlement agreement, and we'll certainly brief you all so you're fully advised before it comes before you on the 19th.
Are you allowed to give an opinion on that, Scott, of what the?
Yes, that's part of the advisement. I'll talk to you about that.
With an interpretive dance?
Yeah, I'll be very straightforward, for a lawyer at least. And then
Or lawyer.
one final item.
Even the lawyer disclaimer has the disclaimer.
One final item, turns out our 2-acre parcel on Citrus Grove Road, that grassy lake piece that we got, that we're selling, we're looking to sell that property, happens to be at the outer boundaries of our community redevelopment area. And because of that, we have to advertise and request proposals from anybody that may be interested in the piece. So we're doing that. I think that's going to run this week. There's a 30-day period, and then we'll see what we get. It's kind of like fishing. See what we get during that period, and then go from there. We do, as you know, there's one clear interested party that has already expressed, and I spoke with them today, and they're certainly going to be putting in a proposal, but
I'll offer $1,000.
yeah, there you go. So, yeah. So those will be coming in, and then after that 30-day period, which happens to end about the middle of May, when everything else is coming through, you'll have, for your consideration, the ordinance to approve the sale of that property.
And
So
those
that's
are and that is 4 votes.
one more thing to be, and that one does require 4 votes, yes. Or, well, let's see, if you're gone, well, yeah.
Yeah,
4 of
but
5, yeah,
I'm only gonna, the seat
Supermajority.
will only be vacant for minutes before.
minutes.
Not necessarily.
In
because
theory, if you
in
can-
theory,
yeah,
remember, I don't think it's
The
gonna be that
drama
quick.
conclude, yeah, so, anyway, that'll be coming forward down the pike, and we've talked to the interested parties, they're well aware, so.
So, and just to clarify, because I know you made the comment last time on, just to piggyback, just a clarification. I know your wife is pregnant and things happen early, hopefully not, but on the 19th per se, if there's a council member short, all it takes is 2 votes to add another council member. It's not 3 votes.
Oh.
It's a majority. It's not 3. So if somebody's absent, then it's 2 votes, because you're going to be missing a seat, we're missing 2 seats, 3 people here, you have a quorum, 2 people vote to choose the one. So just to clarify that came in, then Scott and I were talking, he's like, man, you,
Yeah, I remember answering that, but I don't remember what my answer was.
because you were like, that was a great question, you never thought of that one. I'm like, yeah, we have these philosophical questions, and he gets frustrated. I'm like, what if?
Not frustrated. Thinking you still need 3.
I
But-
think it's the majority.
Scott, will you
Of
be
the
here?
remaining council members, not those attending the meeting, though, that was what I was thinking.
So is that going to be it? So if it says remaining, then you have to actually have all 4?
Well, you need 3, if you need a majority of the remaining, you need 3.
3.
So,
To have quorum.
but I'm saying that from memory, I'm trying to find that.
Well, we'll come back to you. in a
Yes,
second.
talk amongst yourselves, and I'll, yeah.
Anything-
Scott, will you be here all of May and June? Or are you gonna have a unannounced
Yes,
vacation?
unfortunately, unless I can come up with something, I'll be at all those.
Oh, okay,
meetings.
that's great, okay. We just-
I will not be here in July. I've already made that known last meeting, but everything seems to be happening middle to end of May, beginning of June, so on, so things will be done prior to that.
All of July?
And actually, no, now that I think I spoke with Mark afterwards, I'm going to be gone from a Wednesday to a Monday, so no, I will not be missing any meetings.
Thank you for letting us know your.
Yeah, you're very welcome,
your
then I'll be
calendar.
away, and I won't be missing
Thank
any
you.
meetings.
Thank you.
Unless
Thank
you decide to do a workshop on a Thursday, I won't be here.
I think we're gonna do the humps and bumps workshop then.
Anything else?
No, thank you,
Yes,
Scott.
it is the council vote, see, my memory was correct, by a majority vote of the remaining members. So since there's 4 remaining members, it will take 3 of you all to agree, even if there's
Okay.
only,
So what happens if somebody's absent, you just can't vote? Or you just hope for 3 and if
in
somebody
theory, if
says,
somebody's absent, the 3 that are there would all have to agree. So it takes 3 one way or another.
okay,
Sounds like a song, it takes 3, I don't,
is there a song?
no, I think it's,
It
it
takes
takes
two.
2, yeah.
In my
It takes-
world, it takes 2.
It's right, yours would have been a song. This is not.
Nothing for the city attorney?
No, we've had enough,
No,
thanks,
this was
Scott.
your,
Yeah.
this was your,
Oh, I thought we were going back.
No, I was just filling time.
Nothing further for the city attorney.
Reports, are we doing reports?
yes,
Yes.
Now.
she did a report.
Well, does Joe have anything for the city
Do you
attorney,
have anything
because
for
we
city
didn't
attorney?
ask?
I cut you off.
No.
Okay, now.
Thank you.
Now, moving along with the memorial, the Veterans and First Responders Memorial, I do have a meeting with Grant, Christine, and Mark. That meeting, we're going to be getting together this Thursday at 4 o'clock. So I just wanted to let you all know that we are working diligently on this event that will be held again on May 25th. And that's it for me.
Lisa?
Yes, just for a minute. I want to clarify for the record, and my apologies when the mayor asked me about the P&Z meeting. That was held in December, so I didn't have my minutes with me, and I barely remember what happens last week. So just to clarify for you, Mayor, that the planning and zoning, when I said that they didn't like it, that's not what I meant. They had several responses to the landscaping, what the amenity park was doing with the landscaping with canopy trees. And also, they suggested that the pool, the clubhouse is going to be designed as an open-air cabana. And they just asked that it would be better aligned with the city's objectives if they would enclose that building and put AC. And then, of course, the parking came up. So it wasn't, they didn't like it. They were going through code and parking spaces.
It's all good, I
and
was just
all
like,
that. So I just wanted to clarify, because that was back in December, and I
That's
didn't
fine.
have that with me. So, and that's all I have, so thank you.
thank you for clarifying.
So now that Trailhead is,
Trailhead Centennial.
I'm sorry?
Trailhead Centennial.
Trailhead Centennial.
Park.
Trailheads and what?
Centennial Park.
Yeah, Trailhead Centennial, Minneola Trailhead Centennial Park is almost done, and we're,
The TCP,
anything else?
that's it.
Okay. Trailhead Park is almost done, and we're closing up. I do want to start focusing on the 30-acre parcels I mentioned earlier. Way back when we had the original workshop, we did discuss having social media do surveys out to all the population of Minneola that can do targeted ads. I would like to start working with them to get those targeted ads so we can get some good data, so we can see what we want to do with that park. I have my thoughts and opinion. Again, since we do not have a true baseball, diamonds, or rectangle park that our residents can use without paying, as like the MAC, I would like to see that move forward. However, I would like to also see what the residents of Minneola have to say before we make that decision. Like we did in that workshop, unfortunately, the people that do live in the hills, they were told incorrect statements when they purchased, that land is not part of their CDD. They unfortunately do not have a say, directly as to what happens. They, of course, have their opinion, like everyone else as a resident can. But it is not their final decision as to what goes on in that area. It is the council and this board to make a decision. We will treat their opinion we will weigh it the same way as someone who lives in Old Minneola, since this is a city parcel. So for those watching that do live in the hills, again, I do apologize that your real estate agent lied to you. You know, it's not something we haven't heard before, happens all the time, but unfortunately, that is not part of their CDD, that is a city-owned park. So, council's agreement, any issues, but I will be engaging with our social media team in order to start getting those surveys out. And that being said, Mark, are we still under contract with ASA? I believe we put them on hold, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, again, with council, since we do have the ASA agreement on hold, if we want to bring that up so that they can also, and again, they're on month to month, so we could use them for this engagement, that was the original idea as well. It's just to bring income streams or other ideas, that we can bring to this project, so. Okay. Cool, all right, that's it.
Anything?
Oh, I do have one last thing. I'm so sorry. And it's very important. It was brought to my attention that the Minneola South Lake Chamber Breakfast, that'll be held at Sterling. They have changed the date from July 16th, that is on a Thursday, to Wednesday, July 15th. There was a conflict with the venue. That's the reason for the change. That's the only reason for the change. So just letting you all know that Minneola's Chamber Breakfast will be held Wednesday, July 15th.
Mark, can you send council an invite for that, so we can
Thank you.
grab our calendars? Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, I got nothing. That's it, Pam?
That's it. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, one last thing, we do have a CRA meeting.
Mhm.
We're gonna call. Can I get a motion to adjourn city council meeting?
So moved?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
CRA meeting.
Moment of
All right,
silence.
vote for silence. Vice Mayor, lead us in the pledge.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anything, Jennifer? Just trying to personalize it a little bit here. Anybody else in the audience, any comments? Coming back, city manager's consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve?
Got a motion, can I get a second?
I'll second.
First and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, discussion action items, purchase of the pier, moving forward on that. Anybody in discussion? Bring it back to council for a motion.
I still have a comment. I still agree with Joe that the $166,000 is a lot of money. And we've got a lot of projects in old Minneola that's being forgotten that we should address.
And they won't be forgotten. We can still address them. But this pier has been on the project update for quite some time, and this is the first time that I've ever heard of anything. So with that said, yeah. Thank you.
Can I get a motion for approval for the purchase request of the pier? Thank you. It's been noted for the record.
Mm-hmm.
So moved? Same people.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Purchase request for the North Sullivan Road Green Swamp Reserve Incorporated. Anybody in the audience? Bring back to council for approval.
Just, really quick, just one question. Which CRA is this coming out of the downtown CRA, correct?
It's a split, I believe.
It's going to be a combination of both based on,
Usability between both?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Because you're in the news, so you can do the math. It's going to be Ardmore.
Well, I could do the math of 3 million divided by 2 CRAs, yes, that's 1.5.
No,
No, it doesn't work that way.
it's going to be used by, I would do the split on percentage of houses, so you have, it's going to become more heavily out of the Hill CRA because you have more homes attached to it than you do Old Minneola.
Can we do that split like that? Can we decide how we split it?
Yeah.
It needs to be based on the actual allocation of who's using it, and so that,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it had to be a simple 50-50 split. I didn't know that we could.
No, and that's why I said, as the uses develop more fully, that this essentially just authorizes CRA funds as appropriate for the CRA that it's
Yeah.
benefiting
Okay.
to
All right, no, that's
be
fine.
used for.
Yeah, you're good.
I thought it was 50-50 split. I didn't think we were that, or the CRAs were that detailed.
No,
That's
it's
great.
actually,
That's great.
no, there'll actually be a study done to
Oh,
figure
yeah,
out
it's-
how
that's
much,
great.
which CRA is
No, it's
benefiting.
gonna get
which
heavily
proportion,
used,
yeah.
but they'll consume most of it because percentage of them.
Okay,
like
no,
28, okay.
yeah, I'm good
I just
with
wanna
that.
clarify.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine.
Okay.
Pay to play.
Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved?
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Any final public comment? Final public comment from the council?
Nope.
Can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moves?
Can I get a-
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.